been killed dead.
Oh my! He's really, really dead?
Which does have a tendency to give one cold feet. Frankly, I'm a bit glad on account of Mr. Webster and I didn't get along well. I think Kayla May would have been better off marrying that Bixby boy just up the road. He ain't rich like Mr. Webster, but he was a fair more nicer, politer, kinder, enjoyabler, agreeabler. Gladys, go on. Oh, sorry. Anyway, that Bixby boy is nicer than Mr. Webster ever was. I guess that means I'm not the maid of honor anymore. My goodness, I've already said that. Now, why did I come out here? Oh yeah, did you see Kayla May come run through here?
Gladys, Kayla May went that way, but the sheriff said that everyone has to stay here.
Oh, I do hope Kayla May is okay.
Everyone stay put.
Yes. What about Virgil? He walked right out of town.
Milton, do you let Virgil leave?
Was he not supposed to?
I said don't let anyone leave. What part of don't let anyone leave did you not understand?
The Virgil part?
Will you get yourself to find him? So bring him back here.
Oh, all right, Sheriff. Well, Sheriff, what happened? Mr. Webster get himself shot?
Mr. Webster's dead, all right.
Who killed him?
That's what I aim to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you fine people to remain where you are and to not leave until we have this matter of murder resolved.
Just how long you reckon we have to stay here?
Don't write in on me. Oh, some of you don't know me. I'm Sheriff.
Pop! I hear there's been a killing.
Lance Sage. Word travels faster than a cockroach and the lights come on.
So the true Pa has still been gunned down, snuffed out, put on ice.
Now, Sarah, I run official business. I don't need youngins getting underfoot.
But you told me that I get to help you solve the next crime and haul the bad guy.
But this could get dangerous. Now you go on home to your mama. Now don't you start crying, Sarah. You know as I can't stand it when you cry. Oh, all right.
I'll take that as a yes. You want me to frisk him?
No.
You want me to round up a posse?
No.
You want me to shut up?
Yeah, that would be right nice. I was just introducing myself.
Wow, Pa, there sure is a mess of people who came for this wedding.
They didn't just come for the wedding. They came for the prizes that Albert was gonna give out. I guess they're out of luck now.
Pa, where's your badge? You can't be a sheriff without a badge.
Shucks, I didn't have time to put it on this morning.
You better go get it. These people want a sheriff who is properly dressed.
Hold on, folks. I'll be right back.
I'll keep an eye on things till you're gone. My Pa is a really good sheriff, but sometimes he needs a little help. Maybe I can help. And then when we catch the killer, you folks can join me in singing Justice Being Served.
There, now I'm properly dressed.
You look good, Pa.
Thanks, Sarah. Now, as I was saying, no one can leave until we track down the killer and put him behind bars.
Once we put the killer behind bars, then we get Savas to hang him, right, Pa?
That's up to the judge.
Aww, the judge is a pansy. Maybe we can hang him before the judge gets here.
Sarah,
Sheriff, I know exactly who killed Mr. Webster.
really? Who?
Virgil.
nice of you to rejoin us. Now I want you to stay here till I question you. Is that clear?
Why would you want to question me?
Just do as I ask, Virgil.
Oh, all right, Sheriff.
Now, Milton, do you think you can keep everyone here?
Of course, Sheriff. You don't have to tell me twice.
I've already told you twice. I need to check in Mr. Webster's room again before we talk to the wedding party.
You want me to get a horse whip to make him talk, Pa?
That won't be necessary, Sarah.
But if you didn't do it, Darlene, then who did?
I don't know, Virgil.
I was in the saloon this morning, Darlene, and I saw you go up to Mr. Webster's office. And the sheriff finds out that you were the last one to see Albert alive, and that you were his girlfriend before he decided to marry Kayla May. The sheriff's going to be hauling you off to jail for sure.
I only went to see Albert this morning to talk some sense into him. He would never be happy with that country girl. He needs a real woman like me.
What did he say when you saw him?
I never saw him. He wouldn't answer the door.
Where were you when the shot was heard?
That's none of your business.
The sheriff will want to know.
He won't even know to ask. Unless you wouldn't.
Why not? After all, I was Mr. Webster's best man.
Don't give me that. You know that Albert only asked you to be his best man because you were seeing Kayla May before he swept her away from you. It was his way of rubbing your nose in it. I heard you were pretty upset.
I was, but not enough to kill him.
Just why would he be his best man after what happened?
I owed him some money. He said he'd forgive this month's payment if I was his best man. He was going to take my labor card, didn't I? Had to agree.
Looks like you had as much reason to pass on Albert as anyone. The sheriff will be hauling you off to jail for sure.
He just might have you behind bars before me.
Well, I'm not going to wait around and have him pin a murder on me. I'm getting out of here.
But Deputy Milton won't let anyone leave.
We'll see about that. Hi, Deputy Milton. Nice day.
Yes, nice day, except for Mr. Webster.
Yes, what a dreadful thing to happen on his wedding day. My Milton, you sure do have big muscles.
Muscles?
I can see why the sheriff chose you to be his deputy. So big and strong. Now you don't mind if I go and powder my nose, now do you?
But the sheriff said to keep everyone here.
Surely you don't think he meant little old me. I won't be gone long.
You'll come right back.
I want to be as near to you as I can.
I reckon it'll be okay if we come right back.
Faster than you can blow a kiss.
Can we leave now, Sheriff?
Not until I identify the killer.
But I have work to do.
You hard of hearing, the sheriff said for you to stay, so that's what you're gonna do. You want me to throw her in jail to keep her mouth from running off?
That won't be necessary, Sarah.
Sheriff, I just want to let you know that Darlene left.
Milton,
Yeah?
you let Darlene leave?
She said she needed to powder her nose.
So?
And then she blew in my ear.
How about I shoot your ear off? Get her back here.
Yes, Sheriff.
With the windows locked from the inside, the killer had to come out the doorway without anyone hearing.
Hard to do with that door. You hear we went in? Squeaks like it hasn't been oiled in a month of Sundays.
It did make a racket.
Maybe the shooter left the room another way.
Another way.
You know that everyone says there's a secret passageway out of Mr. Webster's room.
Just rumors. Do you see any other way out of the room?
Wouldn't be a secret if you could see it.
Sheriff, I feel that I have to tell you something.
Can it wait until we clear up the shooting?
It's about that, Sheriff. I know who done it.
And who might that be?
Darlene.
A lady killed Mr. Webster?
Darlene is no lady. She's a saloon girl. I heard her threaten Mr. Webster after he threw her out.
Are you talking about Darlene's words with Mr. Webster yesterday?
Yes, you heard it too. She said, and I quote, "It's a good thing I can't get my hands around your neck, Albert, or I'd squeeze until your head popped off."
Want me to help Milton drag her in, Pa?
Just hold on there, Sarah. Did you see Darlene go up to Mr. Webster's room?
No,
Did you even see her enter the saloon?
no, but I know she done it. The same as I know the rooster's gonna crow in the morning. Here's what I reckon she done. Mr. Webster was just sitting in his room, probably counting all his money, and most likely was difficult since he was so much. Since he gets that, he managed. Then, Darlene tiptoed up the stairs and knocked on his door, rap, rap, rap. Mr. Webster quickly hid all his money, not wanting anyone to see how much he had. Then, he opened the door to find Darlene. At first, Darlene was overly
go investigate the room for any secret passageways, Sarah.
You want me to get my magnifying glass to help us find the call?
That won't be necessary.
Kayla May! Kayla May! Have you guys seen that Kayla May?
I haven't seen her. Me either. Maybe we could do see her. She was hiding around the street early this morning. That's right, she did. She was in the wedding.
Kayla May! Kayla May! Is the wedding over, Hazel? Oh, my poor Kayla May. I wasn't going to come to the wedding, but then I thought I couldn't do that to my Kayla May, my only daughter. Her and I haven't had it easy since her pa died. Mr. Webster threatened to take our land away, so Kayla May agreed to marry him. I told Kayla May not to marry Mr. Webster, that we could make it somehow, that we didn't need his money. Let him have the farm. My little girl was thinking of her mama. She thought that marrying Mr. Webster would solve all of our problems and that we could get our farm back.
Hazel, Mr. Webster has cold feet.
Cold feet? You mean he's called off the wedding? Well, that's just fine with me. To me, this wasn't a wedding anyways. It was more like a funeral. Frankly, I'm glad Mr. Webster got cold feet. Does mess up my plans, though.
Hazel, what we mean to say is Mr. Webster's been killed.
Killed? Oh, well, serves him right. He was not a nice man, you know. I guess I came appropriately dressed after all. Oh, my poor Kayla May. I wasn't gonna... She spent the night here in town. Where is she?
We don't know. She went up that way.
Oh, my poor Kayla May. I have to find her.
Sorry, Hazel, but you have to stay here till the sheriff lets everyone go.
Millen, I have to find my Kayla May. Now you get out of my way.
Sorry, Hazel.
Millen, have you ever seen a mama grizzly protecting her cubs?
Why, yes, I have, Hazel. Mama grizzlies are the fiercest creatures I've ever seen. Why, one chased me up a tree and kept me there for an entire day. I had to eat pine cones for breakfast. What's that got to do with anything?
Well, I'm a mama grizzly gonna protect my cubs. Now you get out of my way.
Sheriff's gonna find me for sure.
Milton, was that Hazel leaving?
She's going to tear me apart like a mama grizzly.
And what do you think I'm going to do to you? I asked you to do one simple thing.
Maybe that's too many things for me.
You get yourself to finding her and bring her back here.
Okay, but I hope she doesn't rip the head off.
Well, it looks like there ain't no secret passageways. That means somehow the killer left the room without using that noisy door.
Or maybe no one was in the room when he was killed.
How could that be? You saying that Albert killed himself?
No, because the gun was all the way on his desk.
Sheriff, I wasn't going to say anything being I don't like to put my nose in other folks' business.
Really?
But I know to set Mr. Webster on the next slide.
And I'm sure you're going to tell me.
It's my civic duty, Sheriff, to help you solve this dreadful crime.
And who sent Mr. Webster on with?
I hate saying this being a lady and all.
And all.
Hazel,
Hazel, Kayla May's mama.
I overheard her and Mr. Webster just yesterday. Not that I was eavesdropping. You know I'm not that kind of person.
Of course not.
Hazel said, and I quote, "You are an evil man, Mr. Webster. Ever you come on my land again, I'll run a pitchfork through your heart."
Now, Mrs. Pickett.
Here's how she carried it out. This morning, after Hazel finished milking the cows, feeding the chickens, slopping the hogs, chores on the farm are endless, you know. Anyways, she had the pitchfork in her hands and remembered what she said just yesterday. She decided that she had to do it. So early this morning, before people walked the streets, she slipped into town as quietly as a mouse, tiptoeing past a sleeping cat. She descended the stairs to Mr. Webster's room and tapped lightly on his door. Tap, tap, tap. Mr. Webster, just getting up from an restful sleep, answered the door. Hazel entered with a pitchfork in her hand and told Mr. Webster to call his wedding with her daughter, Kayla May, and him. Mr. Webster just laughed and asked Hazel to leave. Hazel, being like a mama bear protecting her cub, lunged at Mr. Webster, running him through.
But Caroline, Mr. Webster wasn't killed with a pitchfork.
Of course not. As I was saying, Hazel lunged at Mr. Webster with her pitchfork, trying to run him through. But Mr. Webster was able just to slip out of the way in the nick of time, which made the rage of Hazel come out of her even more. She grabbed the gun off his desk and shot Mr. Webster, bang, giving him cold feet. No one could really blame her for doing him in, don't you think?
Thank you, Mrs. Pickett, for that insight.
She even wore
saloon. There are more bullet holes than there are fleas on your dog.
Someone could have shot him through the door.
That would be some mighty fancy shooting to shoot a man through a door who was clear across the room. But maybe we should check out your theory and look at the bullet hole in the door.
Gladys, what's the matter?
Oh, hi, boys. I'm worried about Kayla May. I've never been so nervous, upset, anxious, concerned, troubled, alarmed.
Gladys.
Oh, sorry. I left Kayla May in the room down the hall just before the shooting, but I haven't seen her since. She was acting mighty nervous, but then so was I. I had to have her lecture. These 5 people said that she ran down the street just after the shooting, but she hasn't come back yet. I'm getting kind of afraid, fearful, disturbed, fretful, restless.
Gladys, I'm worried too.
I have to try and find her.
But what about Milton?
I'll take care of Milton. I have to find Kayla May.
Sorry, Gladys, but you can't leave.
Milton, get out of my way. I have to find Kayla May.
But the sheriff said to keep everyone here.
Milton, get out of my way. With just one kick, your rooster days will be over.
Well, it was a good theory, sir, but the bullet that made the hole in the door wasn't the one that killed Mr. Webster.
Went right through the door and into Mr. Webster's bedpost. Didn't happen too long ago from the looks of it, though.
No, it might be good to keep that in mind when you start questioning the wedding party.
You don't believe Miss Stella's, Miss Caroline's, and Miss Beverly's stories, do you, Pa?
Of course not. There's no proof.
So who do you think done it? I want to see me a hanging.
Can't be hanging people just because we think they're guilty.
Don't see why not.
Because this is a law-abiding town.
I would have to live in the wrong place.
Sheriff, I think I need to tell you about some suspicious activity.
Suspicious activity?
Yes, she came out of the saloon just after the shot. She looked very suspicious, and she might have even done it.
Who are you talking about?
Gladys.
Gladys. You think Gladys shot Albert?
Yes, where else would she hightail it out of here now?
She left?
Faster than a fox ever raiding a chicken house.
Did she? Well, don't you worry, Mabel. We'll find her. Milton,
Yeah?
did you let Gladys leave?
Gladys?
Yes, Gladys.
Well,
Well,
she threatened me.
threaten you?
Yeah, she threatened to kick the roosters out of me.
You have to be strong, Deputy Milton.
That ain't so easy, Sheriff. I've been threatened to be torn apart, kicked, and had someone blow in my ear. It's kind of tough.
When this is all over, you and me are going to have a long talk. Now get Gladys back here.
I just hope I can grow in the morning.
Wonder why Gladys left.
You want me to get my dog, Pa, to help Milton track Gladys down?
I don't think that'll be necessary. And besides, the only thing that dog can find is her food. I'm sure Gladys didn't go very far. I think we need to take a closer look at the body.
What are you thinking, Pa?
Not sure, but I have a hunch Mr. Webster still has something to tell us.
A dead man is gonna talk?
Not exactly. He can still tell us. Let's take a closer look.
Excuse us, ladies. Hope you don't mind, but we need some advice.
Advice? Well, me and my friends are always willing to give advice. We've even been known to give good advice occasionally.
You see, we need self a lot. Now that Mr. Webster is, well, has cold feet, I figured that Kayla May would see fit to marry me.
Marry you?
No, marry me. I know they don't have all the money that Mr. Webster had, but Mr. Webster didn't love her like I would. How can you get Kayla May to notice me? I mean, how do you get a fine lady like Kayla May to notice a plain guy like us?
How about flowers?
Do you really think flowers will work? I don't know.
Fine ladies always like flowers. I know I do.
I saw some daisies just out of town. I saw some lilies. I'll go pick some and give them to Kayla May. Maybe there'll be a wedding after all. Hey, I'm coming too.
Milton, you don't plan to have any children, do you?
The sheriff wants you here, so you have to stay here. Gladys, did you see Kayla May?
No, and Milton here won't let me keep looking for her.
If you have a problem with that, you take it up with the sheriff.
I'll just do that.
I need to find some flowers for Kayla May. Quick, before she comes back. Excuse us, Milton. Sorry, but I can't let you go either, boys. Sheriff's orders. Now, Milton, we have to find some flowers for Kayla May, so that Kayla May will marry you. Me too. I thought she was marrying Mr. Webster. Now, how would you marry Mr. Webster? He has cold feet. I guess that's so. Is that the sheriff? Rats! The sheriff's gonna have my heart.
So what did the body tell you, Pa?
A lot, Sarah.
Like what?
That body is as cold as a frosty morning.
Yeah, so what does that
left this time.
Oh, Sheriff, how'd you know the boys left?
The boys left?
It wasn't my fault. They tricked me.
The real trick is getting you to do your job, Milton. What am I going to do with you?
I didn't know how hard this job was going to be, Sheriff.
When this is all over, maybe you should get a different job. Now get the boys back here.
Yes, Sheriff. Feel like a yo-yo. Found them.
Boys, can we talk?
Of course, Sheriff. Of course.
Who are those flowers for?
It's Kayla May. I need me a wife. So I figured Kayla May is just the one.
But she was going to marry someone else.
Not anymore. Mr. Webster has cold feet.
You want a wife bad enough to kill a groom?
Yeah, I reckon so.
I'll get the hanging rope.
Just because Mr. Webster's dead doesn't mean I killed him. Me either. I came to see if it could be a joint wedding. Figuring I could find me a wife that morning. I never thought about giving Mr. Webster cold feet so I could marry his bride. That just wouldn't be right. But now that someone has gone and done that anyway, I feel Kayla May is in need of a groom. So here I am. Here I am too.
Honest fellows.
Sure seems that way. Did you hear the door to Mr. Webster's room open after the shot?
The door? What door?
Yes, who's loud enough to wake the dead? Well, maybe not that loud, because Mr. Webster's still dead.
Nope, I didn't hear any door. I didn't either.
Did you see anyone in the hall?
Just Virgil. He was coming down the hall from Mr. Webster's office.
Wonder what he was doing in Mr. Webster's office.
Now, if you excuse us, I have to find my Kayla May. You mean my Kayla May?
You just stay put, boys.
But Sheriff, we need to find Kayla May first before someone else asks for her hand.
I don't think that'll happen, Rexy. You need to stay here.
Okay, Sheriff. Okay.
We gonna question Virgil?
Yep, that's what we're gonna do next.
I'll get him. Virgil!
I could have shouted there.
Yeah, but that's what you have me for.
Yeah?
The boys tell me they saw you coming down the hall from Mr. Webster's room just after the shot.
That's right, Sheriff. After all, I was Mr. Webster's best man. I was waiting for him to come down.
In his office?
I wasn't in his office.
Then where were you when the shot was heard?
Where was I when the shot was heard?
There seems to be an echo in here, Pa.
I was checking on the wedding cake in the room next to Mr. Webster's office.
Checking on the cake?
Yes, checking on the wedding cake.
Did you hear the door to Mr. Webster's room open after the shot? Did you see anyone in the hall?
Yeah, the boys were in the hall.
That confirms what the boys say.
Nothing saying they didn't do it together.
Were you in the saloon early this morning?
Yeah?
See Mr. Webster?
No?
See anyone go up to Mr. Webster's room?
Go up to Mr. Webster's room?
There's that echo again, Pa.
Now, Virgil, you better tell me the truth.
Darlene! I saw Darlene go up to his room this morning.
Looks like we're gonna have a hanging at last.
Just hold on there, Sarah. I think we need to talk with Darlene.
I guess I'll walk over and get her for you.
That would be right nice.
Sheriff, Darlene is a little mad at me right now, so don't believe everything she tells you about me.
What do you mean?
She might tell you that Mr. Webster and I didn't get along, but we were friends. Good friends. She was also upset because she wasn't invited to the wedding.
You and Mr. Webster are friends?
Of course, that's why I was his best man.
Didn't sound that way yesterday when you had some words with him out there on the street.
All that, it was nothing.
Of course. You can join the others now.
You wanted to see me, Sheriff?
Darling, I just wanted to know why you were going to attend the wedding of a man who dropped you.
Like a hot potato.
Sarah,
Oh, Pa, he did. I don't think I like what you're implying, Sheriff.
I'm not implying anything. I just want to know why you were going to attend your ex-boyfriend's wedding when you weren't invited.
I'm sure the lack of an invitation was just an oversight.
Darlene, just answer the question. Why were you going to attend the wedding of a man who you made a statement to yesterday, and I quote, "It's a good thing I can't get my hands around your neck, Albert, or I'd squeeze until your head popped off."
I never said that.
I heard it myself. I can tell you're pretty upset when Mr. Webster dropped you.
Like a hot potato.
Sarah, hush up and let me do my job.
Sorry, Pa. I was upset, Albert. I'll get the hanging rope. But I didn't kill him. I'm sure he would have come to his senses and married me rather than that country bumpkin. I just wanted to be within earshot of when he did. Speaking of earshot, where were you when the shot was heard?
Sarah, I'll do the questioning. I was getting there. Where were you when the shot was heard?
Where was I when the shot was heard? You heard my Pa. I was checking on the wedding cake.
The wedding cake?
Yeah, the wedding cake.
Anyone see you?
No.
Hear the door to Mr. Webster's room open after the shot?
How could I? I was downstairs checking on the cake.
I understand you went up to Mr. Webster's room early this morning.
Who told you that?
Makes no matter who. Did you?
Yes, that Virgil's gonna get it.
What did you say to Mr. Webster when you saw him?
I never saw him. He wouldn't answer the door, so I just went back downstairs.
You sure about that?
Of course I'm sure. Maybe you better ask Virgil about him owing Albert money and that Albert stole Kayla and May from him.
Is that so?
That is so.
Thanks, Darlene. You can join the others now.
Seems funny she didn't see Virgil checking on the cake, too.
Yeah, it seems like someone's lying.
They'll tell the truth if and I get a hot branding iron, Pa.
That won't be necessary, Sarah. I think we need to check on this wedding cake. It seems mighty important to too many people here.
That's a fine idea, Pa. I am a little hungry.
We ain't gonna eat it, Sarah,
Why not? There ain't gonna be a wedding anyway.
because it's evidence. Maybe we'll take a peek in Mr. Webster's room again while we're checking on the wedding cake.
What for?
Just trying to get all the facts to solve the murder, Sarah.
What you got there, Virgil?
Land's sakes, Gladys, it's not nice to sneak up on a guy like that.
I wasn't sneaking. What are you hiding?
I ain't hiding nothing, Gladys. You just mind your own business.
Well, you don't have to be so rude.
Why did he tell the sheriff I went up to Albert's room?
I didn't.
Yes, you did. He told me so. So I told him that you owed Albert money and that Albert stole Kayla May from you.
You didn't.
I did.
Why, you backbiting rattlesnake.
You wiggly weasel, I'll never speak to you again.
That's just fine with me.
Fine with me too.
Fine.
Fine. I'm not waiting around any longer. I have to find that Kayla May.
Sorry, but you heard the sheriff. You have to stay here.
Millen, I have to find that Kayla May. Now you get out of my way.
Can't do that or the sheriff's gonna skin me alive. Sheriff, sheriff!
Hazel, just what tarnation are you doing to Milton?
He wouldn't let me go looking for Kayla May.
Sheriff, you need to arrest him for assaulting a law officer.
Arrest me?
Don't you fret, Milton. Hazel wouldn't have hurt you. Hazel, why aren't you join the others? I'm sure Kayla May will return soon.
She gave me a pain in the neck.
You're a pain in my neck. Well, looks like someone was going through Mr. Webster's desk.
Yeah, left quite a mess.
And did you see the wrapping paper on the floor in the room where the gifts were?
Whoa, Pa, you notice everything.
You have to have a sharp eye to be for the law, Sarah.
Sheriff, I have to find out Kayla May.
We will. Milton, go find Kayla May. You seem to be better at finding people than keeping them in one place.
That's the eye that knows like a bloodhound.
Smells like one, too.
Hazel, you weren't exactly keen on the idea of Kayla May marrying Mr. Webster, were you?
Ain't no secret, I hated the idea.
I'll get the hanging rope.
Sarah,
Oh, Pa, you ain't no fun.
But I wanted what Kayla May wanted, and she wanted to marry Mr. Webster. She wanted to get the farm back for her mama. I told Kayla May not to marry Mr. Webster. There ain't nothing more to marry that man. But I did what I had to do.
Are you sure you don't want me to get the hanging rope ready, Pa?
I'm sure, Sarah. So what'd you do, Hazel?
I let Kayla May have her way.
Are you sure you can stop the wedding by shooting the groom?
Of course not, Sheriff. I was planning on waiting until after the wedding they got married to give him cold feet. That way, Kayla May would get all of his money, and we could get the farm back.
That's a good plan, Pa.
It sure enough is. One last question, Hazel. Where were you when the shot was heard?
I wasn't in town to hear the shot. I arrived late.
You were late to your own daughter's wedding?
I wasn't gonna come at first, but then I thought I couldn't do that to my Kayla May. So I rushed here and arrived after Mr. Webster was found dead.
You didn't come into town earlier to pay Albert a visit?
Hey, no! I had to milk the cows, feed the chickens, milk the hogs.
Thanks, Hazel. We'll let everyone go soon.
You best hurry, Sheriff.
You know who done it?
Not yet.
Sheriff, you've got to let Hazel go look for Kayla May. She may need us.
Milton's looking for her, but first I need to talk to you.
Why do you need to talk to me?
Just trying to solve the crime, Gladys.
You don't think I killed Mr. Webster, do you?
I didn't say you did. I just want to ask you some questions. Where were you when the shot was heard?
I'm not sure I want to answer that question, Sheriff.
Want me to twist her arm to make her talk, Pa?
That won't be necessary, Sarah.
If you must know, I was checking on the wedding cake.
So, see anyone?
No, I was alone. After I heard the shot, I ran to Kayla May's room to make sure she was okay, but she wasn't there.
Kayla May wasn't in her room?
No.
Where'd she go?
I reckon she was upset to have Mr. Webster turn up dead on her wedding date and ran out.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
Thanks, Gladys.
I found Kayla May, Sheriff.
Good work, Deputy.
There, Kayla May. Everything's gonna be okay.
But what am I gonna do? I won't be able to get the farm back for you. Mr. Webster told me he'd give me back the farm if
reservations while you're sprucing up. Maybe they could help again.
That's a fine idea, Sarah.
I'll get them. Virgil, Darlene, Harley, Hazel, Gladys, line up. I'll take care of this, Pa. I know just what to do.
It's all yours, Sarah.
Thanks, Pa. I'll make you proud. You have any questions for these suspects?
I do. Who is with you when you checked in the wedding cake?
I was alone checking on the wedding cake.
Me too.
I was alone and I didn't see either of you. I thought I saw Darlene nosing around the wedding gifts.
I was checking on the wedding cake.
Yeah, I saw her walking all by herself over there.
Of course.
Thanks, Sarah. You did a fine job. And thanks for the wedding gifts. They asked some mighty good questions, and we got some interesting answers.
Do you know who done it?
I believe I do. Folks, seems we have a killer among us.
You want me to get the hanging rope ready, Pa?
Just hold on there, Sarah. Seems a lot of you say you were checking on the wedding cake. Darling, you say you were checking on the cake. If that's true, why don't you see Virgil?
Virgil, I was checking on the cake. He wasn't there. He's lying.
I knew it was Virgil. I'm not lying. I was checking on the wedding cake.
Then why didn't you see Gladys? She said she was checking on the wedding cake.
Gladys, she's lying. I did check on the cake. I knew it was Gladys all the time.
I was checking on the wedding cake and I didn't see you, Virgil.
Now someone's lying.
I think I have the answer, Pa. Yep, it's frosting. She was the one with her finger in the cake.
I do love cake.
Sarah, you're a regular Sherlock Holmes.
Seems like Gladys is telling the truth. That means Virgil and Darlene have something to hide.
I'm gonna get me 2 hanging ropes.
Just hold on there, Sarah. Mind if you check your back, Darlene?
I do mind. Here, Pa.
Just what I thought. What are these?
Oh, just some salt and pepper shakers I brought with me. Who brings salt and pepper shakers to a wedding?
Why, those look just like the salt and pepper shakers I gave as a wedding gift.
That's why the wrapping paper was on the floor where the gifts were. Looks like Darlene has been helping herself to some of those wedding gifts. That's not true.
That'd be easy enough to check. Milton, you want to check the gift to see if you can find Gladys' gift?
Yes, Sheriff.
Okay, I took the shakers. That's where I was when I heard the shot. I figured I deserved something since Albert wasn't marrying me.
Good work, Milton. Don't let her leave. Now, Virgil, you were another who admitted to being at the saloon that morning. When we looked in Mr. Webster's room, we could tell someone had gone through his desk. I wonder what someone was looking for. What's that in your pocket, Virgil?
This ain't nothing. Here, Sheriff.
Why, these seem to be loan papers. Seems you owe Mr. Webster a tidy sum of money.
I'm sure you want me to get the hang rope ready now, Pa.
Just hold on there, Sarah. This doesn't mean Virgil shot Mr. Webster.
I didn't kill him.
Then where were you when the shot was heard?
All right, Sheriff. I was searching for those loan papers in Mr. Webster's downstairs office. I knew he kept them there, but why would I kill Mr. Webster? Once I had the loan papers, I planned to destroy them. Then he could prove I owed him any money at all. I didn't have any reason to kill Mr. Webster.
He's right. Now, boys, you two were another who admitted to being in the saloon that morning.
Yeah, but I just want to have a joint ceremony. I can't really pay for a fancy one with cake and all myself. Well, no, it looks like I'll have to. I guess I'm worse off with Mr. Webster being dead.
Sheriff, not to be indelicate, but knowing how much Harley owes the mercantile, I can agree he can't afford a wedding on his own. His story makes sense.
Rats! I'm never gonna get to see Mia hanging. But if Virgil, Darlene, and Harley didn't do it, and if Gladys was checking on the cake, and Hazel planned on giving Mr. Webster cold feet after the wedding,
Then who did it?
Though that only leaves one person, Kayla May.
Me? Why would I kill my soon-to-be husband?
It's no secret why you're marrying Albert.
Yes, but he volunteered to marry to save our farm, so why would I kill him?
yeah, explain that one, Pa.
Yeah, I don't understand.
One thing that we overlooked is that the groom has cold feet. That means he was killed at least 12 hours ago. Takes a while for a body to get that cold. I imagine last night when the saloon was loud, nobody heard the gunshot or the squeaking of the door as someone left the room. Kayla May said earlier that her dreams faded when she saw her fiancé dead. But we all know no one left the room following this morning's shot. That's because Mr. Webster was already dead before we heard her. I think Kayla May killed her fiancé the night before. This morning, she He just fired a shot through the door to draw us to the room so that his death could be discovered. And that's why we never heard the squeaking of the door, because it never opened this morning.
He said he changed his mind, that he wasn't gonna marry me, that he was gonna take the farm from me and Mama after all. His gun was on the desk. I only grabbed him to scare him, to make him change his mind. But then he tried to grab it from me and went off. I didn't mean to kill him.
Oh, Kayla May.
Mama, I'm so sorry. Sheriff, I'm turning myself in.
Don't you want to get the hanging rope now?
Nah, I feel kind of sorry for her. I guess we'll let the judge decide. After all, it was an accident.
Sheriff, Sheriff!
Milton, what's wrong with you?
Sheriff, it's him!
Him who?
Him on the wanted poster. I'll show you.
Mister, hold it right there. He's not available.
He's got cold feet.
How can I help you?
Never mind.
Sheriff, look, it's him on the wanted poster.
Why, Milton, I think you just caught a bank robber. That's mighty fine work, Deputy.
It's all in a day's work, Sheriff.
Lock him up, Deputy Milton.
It would be my pleasure. On your feet, Mr. Bank Robber.
Hold it right there, Darlene Virgil. You two both confess